Hey all, this is Redditosker, and today I'm going to show you the fastest, easiest way to farm super credits in Helldivers 2. Super credits are the game's premium currency that you can earn in-game. You can use it to unlock the premium war bond, and you can also use it to buy the armor from the superstore. And you're going to need a lot more of it, because according to the developers they're going to be releasing a new premium war bond every month. And not all war bonds will be priced the same. So we should probably assume that upcoming war bonds will be at least 1,000 super credits. Using the method in this video, you'll be able to farm 200 super credits per hour. I know this because I timed it and recorded a video for an hour, and at the end of that video I had 200 more super credits than when I started. And this is a rate higher than any I've seen in other super credit farm videos. The key to farming super credits efficiently is that you don't need to extract from missions. Super credits get added to your account the moment you pick them up, which means that you can quickly go to all of the points of interest on a map, collect any super credits you can find, and then abandon the mission and go back to the super destroyer, which makes farming them much faster. It saves you the time of going back to the extraction, going through the extraction process, going through the loading screen back to the super destroyer, and having to wait through the lengthy mission reward screen. Clearing all the points of interest on a map will take around 3 minutes, 2.5 if you're quick. And the process of extracting back to orbit and going through the mission reward screen is also about 2 to 3 minutes, which means by not doing that, you double the amount of super credits you get in the same amount of time. This does mean that you won't be collecting any experience, requisition slips, or samples from this farm, but you do still keep all the medals that you find, because the medals work the same way as the super credits. Now let me give you some general advice. You want to equip the lightest armor that you can get your hands on for the increased speed and the increased stamina regeneration. If you have access to the impact grenades, use those, since you can use those to blow open the doors to the containers without having to wait for the grenade to go off normally. Set the difficulty to trivial because the difficulty doesn't affect the amount of super credits that you get, and the points of interest will be unguarded. I think trivial also makes the maps smaller, which is good because you can get to all the existing points of interest relatively quickly. Because using this method you're not completing the mission, the type of mission is not terribly important. More important is what planet you choose to do this on. You don't want to go to a planet with a lot of trees or shrubbery or a lot of visual clutter. And I've also noticed that the mission type has an effect on the terrain, with some mission types being a lot easier to see in the distance. So try and pick planets and mission types that are visually clear. In this way you can pick out all of the points of interest more quickly. You may also want to avoid planets that have the intense heat planetary effect, because that will drain your stamina faster when you run. But you may also want to not avoid the desert planets, because those are mostly clear and let you see distant buildings easily. So it's up to you and might depend on what other planets you have available. I'm not going to tell you a specific planet to use for this farm, because as planets get liberated, they become unavailable for helldiving, and new planets get introduced. Another trick is that you can see potential points of interest by looking at your map. You can see the outlines of buildings there, and that way you know to head in that direction even if you can't see it. There's also a bug to watch out for. Sometimes when you blow open the door to a container, and there are 2 rewards there, you'll try and grab both of them, but one of them will become unavailable. The prompt to taking it will disappear, and it won't get added to your total. This seems to happen only after you've grabbed the first thing. So if you open a container and you can see that it has super credits in it and something else, grab the super credits first before you try and grab the other thing. This bug happened to me several times throughout this farm, and I ended up missing out on super credits at least a few times, which means my true total would have been much higher. After doing it for a while though, I think I came up with a solution. I think this bug is happening because you try and loot the second object before your character's animation plays out, which causes the second object to become unobtainable. I started waiting until the animation was completely finished before I grabbed the second item from the container, and once I started doing this, that bug never happened to me again. Alright, that's the end of this video. As always, thank you very much for watching.